And we're back. Thank you for coming to the Critics Clinic to get your prescription for all things movie and entertainment. Again, if you want to see more, if you want to keep following me, press the button below, subscribe, like, do the same thing to my other videos, and they will keep coming. I want to talk to you about a movie called Here. It was a movie that originally came out in limited release at theaters. Now it's on Netflix. I did miss it at theaters, and I did watch it on Netflix. It's in the top 10, so I thought I would watch it. It's one I missed that I wanted to watch. Of course, if you don't want a synopsis, if you don't want to hear about the plot, fast forward. I'll put the time below so you know what to get to, just to get to my honest review. I'll give a quick rundown, because this is one of those movies to where the experience of the movie is more important than the actual plot itself, and you'll understand what I mean in a second. The plot takes place over about 100 years. It's a lot of different families living in the same house, and they're living out their experiences in this house and the things they went through to get to where they're going. There is one particular family that you see a lot of throughout generations. It starts with two people, Paul Bettany and Kelly Riley. They play a couple. They have several children, 3 in fact. One of their children is Tom Hanks' younger character that grows up, finds Robin Wright. They fall in love. They have children. They're living in the house with their parents and their child. Eventually, their mother ages out, has a stroke, eventually dies. The father moves off to Florida, comes back. He also dies. They're kind of trapped in this house and in their marriage. Robin Wright's character eventually moves out, and Tom Hanks' character, kind of realizing his whole life has passed him by, sells the house, and that's the end of the movie, is them coming back to join basically hand in hand to see the house they lived in, because Robin Wright's character now has dementia, and she's kind of forgotten everything, but once they're sitting in the house remembering them living there, she has a moment, a very like Disney Coco moment, where she's like, I remember this. I remember finding this blue ribbon in the corner of a couch. We lived here. I loved it here. And that's the end of the movie. So I would say, in terms of breaking down how I wanted to score this movie, again, it's a very interesting plot. I'll get to that in a second. I would say for the cast and crew, this was a Robert Zemeckis movie. You probably know him for every movie that Tom Hanks has done. Castaway, obviously, he did Forrest Gump with Robin Wright. They're reuniting in this movie. He's done everything. Polar Express. He's done a ton of movies. Look them up on Google. You guys can use Google. You're young. I would say, in terms of cast and crew, Tom Hanks, Robin Wright, it was great to see them together since seeing them in Forrest Gump. That was cool. Kelly Riley, Paul Bettany, Justice for Vision, Waiting for Vision Quest on Disney+. I would say, from that standpoint, cast and crew, they did a good job. I don't know if I should talk about this now or in my production scoring. I'll do it for now. And I'll say, for the acting, Tom Hanks and Robin Wright, it's odd because they played a loving couple before in Forrest Gump. They were less believable as a couple that was in love in this movie. So I would say overall, I would give it a 1.5 because I actually loved Kelly Riley's character. I thought she was probably the most endearing character of the entire movie. Just this kind of misunderstood housewife whose husband really never respects her or gives her any attention or never cultivates her dreams until it's too late and she's dead, and Paul Bettany's character realizes kind of what he's done and what he's missing and how much she meant to him. So I'd say from that standpoint, 1.5 for the acting. Overall was good. There were just unbelievable moments, but overall was good. I'd say for the plot is all over the place, but that's by design. Robert Zemeckis' whole point was to put all these different characters in this house and show how all these kind of lives play out in this one spot. It actually starts out in the prehistoric ages. It shows the meteor hitting the dinosaurs using some CGI, and then it gets to the indigenous people having children in this spot, and then it goes to Tom Hanks' childhood, and then it advances through there, and then in between there's some colonial period times, and there's even a future family that's there. There's actually a very poignant moment where there's a black family, and they're sitting down with their son, kind of telling him what to do if he ever gets pulled over by the police. It was a very emotional moment. There are actually a lot of emotional moments in this movie. Again, one where Rose's character has a stroke. She's on the ground when Robin Wright's character comes home and finds her, decorating a Christmas tree. This goes through a lot of life choices. There's even one point in Robin Wright's character where she's celebrating her birthday, and she's like, wow, I can't believe I'm actually 50 now. I'm really 50. She starts going into just this, dialogue about how she's missed out on so much. She'll never get to see Paris. She didn't think 50 would come. She thought it would come tomorrow. That's really the message of the movie, is that so many people are waiting for tomorrow that they missed the opportunity of today, which I thought was a beautiful message. Again, the plot was a little all over the place, but the message was beautiful. Very Soul, again, from Pixar, just not as well done. I would say from a plot standpoint, it was a little hard to follow at times, and some of the characters were not fleshed out like they should be. Specifically, the current future family didn't get a lot of screen time. And then also, one of the other families, where it was a wife and husband who flew planes, who died from the flu, and their daughter. I wanted to see more about them, because they were kind of more of the endearing like couples. You don't get to see them a lot though. But I know this is a Tom Hanks movie. It was about Tom Hanks' character and Robin Wright's character, so I get that. So I would give it a 1.5. So we're at a 3 right now. In terms of overall production, I think it was a little odd. They used some de-aging technology, obviously, on Robin Wright's character and Tom Hanks and Paul Bettany and Kelly Riley to kind of show them when they were younger and then age them up. It was completely unbelievable to see Tom Hanks as a teenager. It looked really weird to watch. It was like seeing a whole bunch of regular humans and then seeing a CGI character walk around. It was actually it was very odd to watch. Same thing with Robin Wright. They just maybe de-aged them a little too much and looked a little unbelievable. So I'd say from a production standpoint, and even just kind of the set, felt very stage play. And maybe that's what Robert Zemeckis wanted. I don't know. It didn't translate for me well. I would actually give it a 0.5. The production was not there. The de-aging seemed very weird looking to me. So from that standpoint, we're at a 3.5. For the music, I thought the music was fine. I'm going to go ahead and skip this one and give it a 2. Nothing sensational, but nothing that would take away from the movie. It had the music that it needed. So from that standpoint, we're at a 5.5 now. In terms of how did I enjoy the movie, I think really any human who's gone through any type of emotion, any type of trauma, which we all have, it was very emotional. You know, there were points, me being a frontline worker during the pandemic, I felt specifically touched by the part about the future current family that had their caretaker actually contracted COVID and died in the movie. I thought that was very touching. Also the part where Rose had the stroke, but also Robin Wright's character came back, had dementia, and she had this realization that she lived in this house and she loved this house. I thought it was beautiful. I think overall enjoyment of the movie, I'm gonna give it, man, this is a tough one because I did enjoy the movie. I'm gonna give it a 1.5. So if we're gonna give a prescription to the overall, how did I enjoy this movie? I think the cast and crew was great. The acting was pretty much great overall. Plot was kind of all over the place, but when it hit really well, and it had some really touching moments. I just feel like it did fall short from the production standpoint. It was odd to see these people de-age. Maybe they should have just picked younger characters to play them, because it was odd to watch. And the set design it felt like a stage play, and not like in a good way. Again, but overall movie, it was a good movie, very touching. It was almost like watching live action Soul from Pixar, which is one of my favorite Pixar movies, by the way. So I would say overall, I enjoyed it. I'm giving it a prescription of a 7 to a 7.5. I'm giving it a range based on how I feel in that moment. I know this is weird. I've never given a range before. I just wanted to see how it goes. Tell me what you think about my review in the comments. Tell me if you watched it. If you haven't, I would say watch it. If you have some time, it's actually an easy watch. Again, tell me what you think in the comments. Tell me what you liked. Tell me what you didn't like. Thanks for watching. Bye.